Today's the day to find the niche for your business or personal brand. I want to walk you through a couple of different exercises, ask you some questions, and hopefully after going through this, you have a much better idea on the niche for your business. What I wanted to do is start out really broad, and as we go through it, get a little bit more narrow. So, some people are starting out with a ton of different ideas and want to be able to choose one. Other people may have a general idea of what the niche might be, what their industry is, but want to go through and further refine that. One of the things I was reading through recently that I really liked is this book, Steal Like an Artist. I would definitely recommend you check it out. It goes through 10 things nobody told you about being creative. And one of the things, kind of thinking through your niche, that I really like from this book is this quote from Jessica Hische that says, "The work you do while you procrastinate is probably the work you should be doing for the rest of your life." Not everyone has that luxury necessarily of what they like procrastinating doing is something they could turn into a career, but it's a good place to start. And so her story, I did a little bit more research after liking that quote, is she studied graphic design, worked in graphic design in New York, and then later realized it was more kind of illustration and illustration of text. So over time she transitioned from kind of general graphic design, which is pulling together images, text, other things from different sources, to kind of the final product, to really wanting to work with illustration and illustration of text. I'm going to link down below both to the book Steal Like an Artist and Jessica Hische's Instagram account. So I recommend checking both of those out. One thing before we get started is we have a free 7-day personal branding course. I'm going to link to that up above right here, as well as down below in the description. Sign up. Every day you get a new email with some things to work on, tips from us on building your personal brand. So if that's what you're working on right now, I'd recommend you sign up for the course. One of the really important points with building a personal brand or a business brand is nothing is set in stone. So I want to give you 2 examples of personal brands that have changed quite a bit over time. And the benefits of using a personal brand instead of a business brand is a lot of businesses you choose kind of a specific niche and the name includes that niche. Where a personal brand, it's you. You're allowed to change your mind, change your passions, change whatever it is that you're focused on much more than a business brand. So there's 2 examples that I want to go over are Vanessa Lau, who is really well known on YouTube as a content creator and helps coaches and entrepreneurs build their businesses online. But she didn't always start out that way. So she actually started out on Instagram as a beauty blogger. So she has a post on Instagram where she shared 5 very different feeds of her Instagram. I'll link to the post where you can see the beauty pictures, the quit your day job pictures, and then what her Instagram feed looks like today. Another example is Gary Vee. So you've heard me mention him in other videos, but I think it's a really good example of him building his personal brand around wine and then being like, yeah, I did that, what's next? And now built up his personal brand around what you probably know him as marketing, entrepreneurship, motivation. The point is, start something, pick a niche, start growing, and if it's not working for you, iterate from there. So one of the positives of everything that's going on in the world right now is people are just being really collaborative and helpful. So someone I've also mentioned in other videos, Pat Flynn, has a handful of different online courses, one of which is called Smart from Scratch. And during everything that's going on right now, he made that course free. So I'm going through it right now. And one of the exercises I want to talk about that I got from there. So he calls it the 7-7-7 technique, where you talk about, where basically there's 21 things that he wants you to write down, which are 7 problems, 7 passions, and 7 fears. And here's an image from the 21 things that he came up with. You can see it's really broad. Like, this is a starting point for anybody. So one of his passions is Back to the Future, and he's really afraid of spiders. So now the next step is going and eliminating as many of them as you can. And so, he gets rid of Back to the Future and spiders and Tesla charging stations and some other things that were on that list. And basically what he ends up for the exercise that he goes through in this course is around planning and productivity. So recommendation, if you want, I'll link down below to the course from Pat Flynn. Hopefully when you're watching this video, the course is still free. So now that you narrowed it down a little bit from that huge broad list to something a bit more focused, what I want to do is to ask you 6 questions that I got from watching a video recently on video influencers where they interviewed Rory Vaden from the Brand Builders Group. The business basically focused on helping people build their personal brands. And he has 6 questions he recommends that everyone answer. I'm going to link to that video where I found this up above. I'd recommend that you check it out, and it goes in a lot further detail, but here are the 6 questions. Question number 1, what problem do you solve? Question number 2, what are you passionate about? Question 3, What do you research? So again, it gets into like, where do you spend time? What do you do when you're procrastinating? What do you like researching? Question number 4, what do you have results in? So what have you been good at? What have you been successful with? Maybe there's something in there that has to do with what your niche should be. Also, what would be something that someone would buy from you? What type of product or service would someone trust you enough to purchase from you? Would they give you money for you to do right now? And what business do you want to be in? There could be something that you're really good at, that you're passionate about for doing for yourself, but do you want to build a business around it? I don't know. So those are his 6 questions. Again, check out the video and they go through it in a lot more detail than what I am here. But I think it's another set of questions along with what we talked about previously to help you narrow your focus. Again, you're not going, as you're building a business, yes, you can be flexible, yes, you can change, but you can't be everything to everyone. And so if you saw the video from last week on building a business brand versus a personal brand, one of the things I was talking about is the exercise space. And so for me, working from home all the time, I'm not going to a yoga studio, and so I came across Manflow Yoga. So that's one niche. If you think really, really broad of fitness, this is fitness for men. For men, they could run, lift weights, a whole bunch of other things. And so this is a further niche between fitness, men, and yoga. And so that's what his entire content, his business, his YouTube channel is all focused around. Another example from the fitness space would be nerd fitness. So this isn't fitness for men or women, this is fitness for nerds. So if you read through the blog, you always see pictures of Legos or Star Wars. It's one of those things where there's jokes and content around how do I create amazing content for nerds that are interested in fitness. And so again, you're taking something that's really, really broad and niching down a little bit within that. So you can really resonate with that small specific audience and not try to talk to everybody. Another thing is really important. If we start to talk a little bit about our business, the Fig Co. So we started a couple years ago, and as you're starting a business, sometimes, especially if it's kind of freelancing, just getting going, you want to say yes to everything. Yeah, no, we can do that. We'll figure it out. It may not be the ideal client, the ideal project, the ideal industry that you want to work in, but you kind of just got to get started. But over time, you learn what you like, you get better, you build up a skill set, and you begin to focus. So one of the things that could help speed that up a little bit is knowing your personality, knowing the personality of your business partners. And so for one tool that I would recommend for that would be Chrystal Knows. So you can see my profile here, and so there's a handful of different personality tests that you can take. The first one that they use the most is called the DISC profile, and so you can see my type is an influencer. The Enneagram, I'm a protector. For Myers-Briggs, I'm ENFP. The Big 5 assessment. And then you scroll down here to the bottom and you see what comes naturally to Jeff. So naturally that I get bored easily, I like the big picture, I'm sarcastic sometimes, and I go with my gut, although I do like to, have some level of detail. What energizes me? So exploration and discovery, public speaking, not a ton, storytelling for sure, and new experiences. What drains Jeff? So I think this is something where you want to be careful of, and so too much caution, rigid and flexible schedules, overly factual, and then the last piece on repetitive routine tasks. So you can see from my Chrystal Knows profile that talks a bit about what I enjoy doing, what I don't like doing, what drains me. And so if you think about that just within the marketing space, I really enjoy the coaching piece, talking to clients about their business, where they'd like to take it, who their ideal customer is, how to build that audience, what channels to use, if it's YouTube or a podcast or Instagram, and then letting them kind of run and execute with it, and we kind of iterate and help them along the way. What I don't like as much is just the day-to-day repetitive tasks. And so creating a content calendar of here's what we're going to post on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube for the next couple of months, and write the copy for each post, design the post, all of the very repetitive work is something that's really within my skill set and I'm not great at. And so, I think it's important to understand you and your business partners, what you're good at, what you like doing. That helps you kind of split up tasks on a team, but then it also helps you figure out your niche and what you actually want to provide as a service or product for your clients. Another example, I don't know if you saw my video on graphic design for entrepreneurs, but again, kind of choosing your niche within graphic design. So you could want to be an illustrator and focus on text like Jessica Hische that I mentioned earlier. But then with the video that I recorded last week, one of the things could be, do you want to design logos? So if you want to be really, really creative, maybe you want to do logos for entrepreneurs. So it's a new business and they have nothing yet. So you're gonna do their brand design, help them choose the colors, and it gives you a lot of leeway to be more creative. But if you're really process oriented and you just kind of like do stuff quickly and efficiently, if you're given the right information, maybe something like what they do with Design Pickle, where you work with clients, they send you designs, and you put together a presentation, a social media post. You have the rules of they use these colors, this type of design, these fonts, and you can put something together really quickly and efficiently, day in and day out for a particular client. And then also, what is your ideal role? So do you want to manage a team of designers? Do you want to do all the work yourself because you're a perfectionist? Or would you rather teach other people through YouTube how to be designers? So hopefully that helps you, even if you're starting out really, really broad right now, to be able to narrow down and focus on a niche for your business or your personal brand. You can start out with the 777 technique. You can ask yourself the 6 questions from the Video Influencers video. You can take the personality profiles on Chrystal Knows, and to be able to narrow down your niche to really something that you can serve your clients well and you can be energized doing it day in and day out. So I want to know more about you. Why don't you leave down below in the comment section more information about your business, the niche you're in, and anything we can do to help out. We're all in this together, trying to be successful. So let us know what you're working on, and let's start a conversation. If you're in the process of building your personal brand, I'd recommend you sign up for a free personal branding course. I'll link to that up above right here. Also, we have a whole bunch of other videos on the channel about personal branding. I'll link to those right here. Until the next video, bye-bye.